What were the biggest differences between filming something like this and some of your other shows? Because now you're showing people these properties, but then after that, it's kind of up to them what they make of it and what they do after
Yeah.
that.
Well, this show is definitely not the deep dive into renovation with our
Yeah.
team. So we're showcasing a lot of properties. I love that the audience, it's almost gamified. They can follow along and try and figure out what property these homeowners are going to choose.
Hmm.
And frankly, they don't always choose the property that we thought would be the best for them. Sometimes they go rogue and they pick something else because they love that it had extra land or they love that it had a lake. But at the end of the day, I think the audience is going to still take away some inspiration even if they're not planning to abandon the city and go to the country, there's something in this show for everybody. They're also going to yell at the screen a little bit, like, "Why are you making that decision, homeowners?" Like, it's entertaining, it's educational, and it's also jaw dropping when you see the views. It's the most beautiful show we've ever shot.
Wow. And it was beautiful to watch the episode that I did get to watch. But what was the biggest challenge of finding these ranch homes compared to when you're looking in the suburbs or the city?
Well, the one thing that Jonathan and I are really good at is even if we don't know a certain area, I had never
Hmm.
looked at properties in Arizona before.
Hmm.
We're very quick to be able to figure out where the different areas are, and we really listen to the homeowners to try and figure out what's important to them because everybody's different, right? What
Yeah.
ranch life is to us is not the same for the other homeowners, and so we dig in with them first, and then we really dig in to understand the areas, what proximity they need to the city, or how much land they're looking for, or what type of ranch. And then also things too, there was one region we were in where it's really hard to make a living on a ranch, but if you had beekeeping on your ranch, if you had bees there, you get a tax incentive. And
Oh,
so you
wow.
were able to find unique ways to offset certain costs that can go towards other areas of your business to help it thrive. So that was fun for us.
What was the best part? Was there a favorite moment that kind of stood out for you guys this season?
It definitely gets very emotional. Some of the families when they actually sign on the line and they buy this property and they realize this is a huge move
Yeah.
to round up their whole lives, move into a completely different area. But it's also a thrilling time, so it was very emotional. And there were a lot of tears because this is actually happening. My favorite part was seeing, where are they now? Because we would follow up with all of these families several months later and see did they actually do the work that they were going to do, the
Hmm.
renovations, is it working for them? That for me was rewarding because all of the families all of a sudden were actually living that lifestyle and it was rewarding. For me, I loved getting back on a horse, saddling up
Yeah.
again. I hadn't ridden in years. And so a little sore on the butt because I hadn't done it in a while, but it's like riding a bicycle. You get used to it. The funniest thing for me, though, was our homeowner who was obsessed with chickens. She had dreamed of having a chicken ranch or chicken farm, and she wanted hundreds only to realize when we took her to a chicken farm that she's deathly afraid of chickens. So it's just funny what came out of these homeowners when they started to realize what the life was really like.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just a scenic landscape and a couple farm animals.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys too. You've been on HGTV for so long, and the network has gone through its own shakeups. What's your secret to longevity with all your different shows and being on like an HGTV staple?
Yeah, no, it's our fans. Like we don't, Jonathan and I will create new shows, and we've had a lot of iterations of shows because we're listening to our fans, and it's real time feedback from them through social media. We get half a million questions or comments a week each from our fans saying we love
Wow.
this, we'd like to see this, and we shoot year round. We're our production company, Scott Brothers Entertainment, is one of the
Mhm.
largest unscripted producers in the country. We have the couple of shows that we produce, but we have 15 series in total. And so there are a lot of, for us, because we're this big, well-oiled machine, we're always changing, we're always adapting because we're
Mhm.
listening to our audience. And because we take our content all around the world, we own and distribute the content to 160 countries. It allows us to sort of amortize some of those costs across all of our shows, which
Mhm.
means we can keep the quality high of the programming, but still make sure we're delivering something that meets what the audience needs and what the network needs. And so it's been quite an adventure with these shows. And one thing I think anybody would agree is whenever we come out with a new show, we're always like moving forward in a direction where we think the audience is going and what they want to see, trying new
Mhm.
things that haven't been tried. This show, Chasing the West, feels very fresh. It feels very new. So I think everybody's going to enjoy watching it. And I can't wait to hear what they think so that we can continue and do another season of it.